For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Welcome, everybody, to the Friday Night Live episode edition of the Dumb Marks podcast. Coming off a go-home show for SmackDown, getting ready to preview and predict the upcoming pay-per-view on Sunday on the WWE Network for WWE TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. We have the other Dumb Mark that you hear on a weekly basis, Chris, with us tonight. Popping that Dumb Mark merch, looking sweet. Oh, I can't wait to get that on the presses. And then joining us tonight, special guest. We're bringing in people from time to time to give their predictions and their outlooks on things, give a little different flavor to the program. Sir, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Johnny Martello, and I'm a dumb mark just like the rest of you guys. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? How you doing? You good? Everything good?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Nice setup there. Got the big drop-in boom mic. Doing professional out here.
Gotta be professional, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just a mark running off of a Chromebook right now, so we're good. Chris, why don't you
Thank you for having me, guys.
No doubt. We'll see how you do. You got high expectations here. Me and Chris have been nailing predictions. I'm basically writing pay-per-views now if you haven't followed up on my score sheet. But, if I have the pencil, I'm marking stuff correctly. So you got high expectations coming in here for a live prediction show tonight.
You always sit there and talk about how much you hate Ryan Satin, but I'm pretty sure you write the shows with him these days.
No, Satin steals my shit. I've been saying it since the WWE draft. Okay? He comes on here, listens to me, and takes my stuff. Tag him in it. Feel free to. Why don't you go ahead and kick off kind of what we're going to run through tonight, and then we can get into the shits and giggles.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We're going to kind of highlight the 6 matches that are currently on the card. No pre-show match at the moment, but I'm sure that's probably going to get added at a later time. 6 matches tonight. We're going to kind of highlight over Raw and SmackDown this week. A lot of stuff to kind of talk about with that. And then we'll kind of see what we think with TLC this Sunday.
All right, so for starters here, how many of you guys actually watched Raw on Monday night?
I skimmed through it.
Okay, on Hulu skim, like fast forward skim.
Kind of jumped around with the mouse. Okay.
How many seconds skim?
I went through each segment. It wasn't that I just passed over everything. I went through each segment to see what was going on, but that opening was just.
Gee, did you watch any of it?
No, I did not.
So I lasted 5 minutes. I got through Miz, probably like the second page of "'Twas the Nightmare Before TLC." This was after they did the preview for the show, talking about the Ascension ceremony of raising the belts up to the rafters, and then Miz starts with his bit. And then cut into that just horrible opening segment. I mean, look, they're not going to keep any viewers. It was probably the lowest rated Raw in the history of Raw that's been on the air since what, 93?
93, yeah.
So you're not keeping anybody by running stuff out there that's as just bad as that was.
With the ratings, you have Monday Night Football. Raw's always down during Monday Night Football season, no matter if it's a pandemic or not. But it's bad. It's just the product does not make you want to watch 3 hours of Raw.
Again, and this is the common theme of our prediction shows, we're going into a joint branded pay-per-view because they don't do separate brand pay-per-views. We're going into joint branded pay-per-views, and I literally don't think I care about a single thing from Raw.
Oh, you like Orton and Wyatt?
Yeah, but we'll get into this whenever we start breaking down the matches, and I'll give you kind of where I'm at with that stuff. But like, I mean, Raw did nothing for a go home show, and this SmackDown was a little bit better tonight. But as far as go home shows go, WWE does nothing on their go home shows that makes the viewer want to watch the pay-per-view that coming week.
No, this one sure didn't get me excited for TLC at all.
Go ahead, G.
Honestly, the problem with Raw, the main problem with Raw is it's too long. It's too much BS in it. There's there's literally 10 minutes of wrestling and the rest is just crap. Honestly, I mean, I remember running home when it was 9 o'clock, when I started at 9 o'clock. What's going to happen? You don't get that anymore. It's just way too long, and it's not targeted towards our demographic anymore.
But that's the thing. You don't even know what their demographic that they're trying to target on Raw, because it's not the 18 to 49. They've given up on that demo.
Yeah.
I mean, you have references to Braveheart, and that movie's 25 years old.
Yeah, it's
you know exactly who the demo is. Vince McMahon is the only demographic that he cares about. He doesn't care about anybody else.
So, I mean, some of it was rinse and repeat. Some of it's been stuff that we've been seeing. The build towards matches for this pay-per-view on Raw side hasn't been very good. So nothing else to chime in. We'll break down Raw more on the podcast this week, and get a little bit more in depth on the airing of grievances episode that we have planned for you guys. SmackDown tonight. A lot of
problems.
Yeah, SmackDown tonight. We'll jump into that. Go home show wise. What'd you think? Thoughts, misses?
Honestly, I was pretty bored with SmackDown for the most part. I think up until Bianca and Bayley, that's where the show finally got my interest.
Do you think it was too early for that match? With like basically a Twitter build?
Probably, yeah. That could have been saved for. That could have been a match that could have been started with Twitter and build up to the Rumble, and then could have evolved from the Rumble. Whether you do a quick feud with it after the Rumble or you save it to Mania, but I know you think Bianca is going to get the title shot at Mania, but that could have easily been her stepping stone, was Bayley, not the Friday before TLC on the Go Home show.
I mean, the match itself was what it was between them two. I think it could have been better, but to me, it was just a wasted match. There was no point in having it. You're not invested in seeing them two get in the ring, and to me, that's must see. Like, as much as big as Bayley has been this year, her and Sasha basically running everything, and you want to elevate Bianca, then having them two step in the ring one-on-one, that's must see. That needs steam behind it. You can't just throw that in on a go home show when neither one of them are wrestling on the pay-per-view.
No. I mean, back in 2002, why did Stone Cold leave? Because there was money on the table with him and Brock, and they were going to throw it away on Raw. And that's almost what they did here. They threw the match away on SmackDown.
All right. But, I know you said you were bored with it. The one thing I will give at least this episode credit for, it continued to build KO and Roman, and that was the main thread throughout the entire show. It's nice to actually watch a show like back in the day where you have a thread that starts off at the open of the show, it carries through, there's different segments backstage, and then you get a payoff of that beginning thread at the end of the show. And to me, this was well done. They did a good job at establishing both men, both characters, both giving reasons why they actually are going to be in a TLC match. Drew and AJ, again, this is going to be a point that we've hammered home before. It's a gimmick pay-per-view with gimmick matches, so we got to throw people into these gimmick matches. Yep. Drew and AJ does not deserve the TLC match. There's nothing there's nothing there for them to be able to say, oh, this feud deserves a TLC match. Roman and KO again fits the match. It fits the stipulation. The story fits. It makes sense for them to get into the ring in a TLC match.
I might even argue that it might even fit them more in just a tables match or just a chairs match or something like that, instead of needing the ladder aspect of it. But yeah, I agree. The Drew AJ match, as much as I like AJ, this feud does nothing for him. You know, Drew just won the title back a few weeks ago.
It does nothing for it does nothing for both wrestlers. It doesn't. I mean, like Steve said, it makes no sense. It's stupid. Yeah, both wrestlers can go, but why do you have to put them in a gimmick match? Because it's the gimmick pay-per-view. Like this, it's no sense. And as far as the Roman and Owens match, I'd like to see. I think it's going to happen. Owens go over, because I want a longer feud. I'm sick and tired of the mini feuds. Every couple weeks, there's another feud, a new feud. I miss the old 3, 4 to 6 month feuds that we had back in the day. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, you may get a continuation of it going into Rumble. I mean, who would have thought Jay and Roman would have had more than one match for the belt?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ways that they can go with it after Sunday to get them to continue that field, and maybe that turns into Roman and Owens at the Rumble for the belt, and then that be the end of it. And you turn towards whoever wins the men's Rumble match or whoever gets picked to face Roman. Please don't let it be Goldberg at Mania. So, all right, well that's enough.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Put it out there now.
Hey,
happy Hanukkah, Bill. Happy Hanukkah. I'm just putting it out there.
It's gonna happen. So if it doesn't, it's gonna happen. Unfortunately,
do we want it to happen? No,
not at all. That's a different conversation for a different day. So let's hop into this card. Let's break it down. Give our predictions, run throughs, and go ahead, Chris. You can kick it off with whatever match you want to start with.
Yeah, let's kick it off with one that we can get through pretty quickly, I'm sure. The Raw Tag Team Championship match of the New Day versus the Hurt Business, which will be comprised of Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. How do we feel about this match, gentlemen?
So they've done a good job. They've put on quality matches on Raw in the build up to this pay-per-view. There's different dynamics going on. I love Cedric in the Hurt Business. I think he's really stepped his game up since joining those three, and his character development has been great since he's joined those three. I actually see the Hurt Business going over in this one and taking the straps off of New Day.
Okay. I like the Hurt Business. I mean, never did I think I was going to like them, especially the way they started, because, Bobby Lashley had just been so flat for a bit, and I didn't really care about MVP coming back, but adding Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, it's been an entertaining group week in and week out. So that's an interesting prediction.
They've put on, I mean, if you look at the matches they've had on Raw between them, Kofi and Cedric was great. Kofi and Shelton was good to great. Woods and them two, like, I think the four of them in the ring together, people forget how good Shelton Benjamin is in the ring.
Absolutely.
And the man is what he is age-wise, but he's still one of the best in the ring and can go just like he could 10 years ago. I mean, he hasn't aged. If you look at him, instead of just having the gold hair, he's bald now. Like, that's the only difference. You know what I mean? He was the gold standard for the longest time. He still can be that. I love that he's actually getting a push for what you want to say a push is, but being involved in stuff on TV and actually being in the ring and wrestling, because for a while there, you didn't even know he was still on the roster.
No.
So that I think them four together in the ring, it'll come off, and chemistry wise, I think it'll be up there, not better than them and the Usos, New Day and the Usos together in the ring, but I think the four of them are going to go out there and they'll put on a really good match.
And there's nobody better for Cedric to be partnered with than Shelton Benjamin. I mean, for him being a young kid in the business, there's a lot of knowledge in Shelton's head.
Right. So I got the Hurt Business. Who you going with, Chris?
I think I like your prediction. I do, but I think I'm going to stick with the New Day.
All right. G, what do you got?
I'm going with Steve on this because you have to factor in all these. Okay, you got the established team, the New Day. You got the up and coming established team, the Hurt Business. New Day is going to push the Hurt Business to the extreme because I mean the New Day. I mean record breaking tag team champion holders and all that and everything. They're going to be they're going to help push this new team to its fullest. So I'm going with Hurt Business.
And there has been some seeds planted a little bit, not necessarily dissension between Woods and Kofi, but there's been hiccups between them two since coming over to Raw. And Big E's by himself now, so I'm not saying you're going to get the breakup of New Day after this, but they may want to put a fresh coat of paint on each of them. So not saying that's for the best because they're on Raw, and we know Raw hasn't put a fresh coat of paint on anybody in the longest time. But it's a possibility coming out after Sunday.
So you're saying the New Day has run its course? Is that what you're saying? I mean,
to me, the New Day is one of those teams that should have never been broken up. They should have never been broken up. Yeah. Period. So yeah, I don't think they should have been split, but that's what they decided to do. So we're off and running with it. And I mean, if you drop one, you might as well just split the other two up.
Yeah.
I think with Raw lacking star power as it is, if you split Woods and Kofi up, Kofi can automatically pop up into that main event level tier, regardless of who he's with, whether it's against Drew, against AJ, doesn't matter. But that's another person that you can add to that mix for a lack of star power on Raw.
You have to remember, look what Woods did as Consequences Creed in TNA. I mean, both of these wrestlers, both of these workers can go. They both have talent. They just, they've showed it numerous times. They can survive by themselves in singles.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I don't foresee it, but I mean, it's been subtle between them two. So we'll see. That's something to keep an eye on in the future. All right, what do you got next?
Let's move on to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Champions Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the Raw Women's Champion Asuka and a partner to be determined. Going into this match, Asuka's partner was supposed to be Lana, but this week Lana got injured on Raw and is now out of the match as of right now.
Is she legitimately hurt, or is this just like Rusev heat?
I haven't heard of any legit injury. You want to go first, and then I'll go. You want me to go now and tell you my prediction?
So here's my thing with this, right?
Okay.
For 8 weeks straight, you put Lana through a table, building up to this pay-per-view, to where she was supposed to overcome the bullies of Shayna and Nia. She was the sole Survivor Series for her team, which I predicted. She's thrown into a tag team with Asuka for whatever reason, because quite frankly, they really don't have anybody that can challenge Asuka for the belt right now. I could see them doing the injured angle, but yet they bring Lana out. However, potentially rumored to be, this is where Charlotte Flair reappears.
Okay.
Which I don't like at all. I don't want to see Charlotte until the Rumble. That's just me. But besides Charlotte, I can't think of anybody else that they would run out there to team with Asuka. So
I'm thinking Lana is going to be still in the match. I think that I'm kind of on you with that. I think that she's going to end up coming out, trying to give that like brave, fight coming out. Like I'm gonna work through the pain and blah blah blah. They keep trying to make it, put Lana over with this whole thing of going through the tables and make you feel bad for her and want her to get that underdog, win over the bad guys. And I could give a shit, honestly. Like the whole storyline does nothing for me.
No, I see her getting substituted in the match, but coming out, interfering in the match, making Asuka and whoever her partner is go over. I see that. I see her interfering in some way and helping Asuka go over. So
like, if you have Asuka and Lana win the tag team belts, what do you do then? Like, to me, that it makes no sense. You have Asuka's your women's champ. This will be how many? I mean, she just fought, on Survivor Series, but I mean, like, what has her run been really recently? Excuse me, hasn't been anything. So, I just don't see where you go if you put the belts on them. Then you have her as the tag team champ and the women's champ with Lana. Like, I just don't get it. This one I have no interest in really. I'll go with Lana and Asuka, or Asuka and a TB. No, I won't. Never mind. Keep the belts on Nia and Shayna. At least they can go around and have more options to face other teams with. So keep the belts on Nia and Shayna.
I really appreciate you not putting that one out.
Yeah, I won't do that one.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Shayna and Nia, retain.
G?
Oh, you're going to do it, aren't you?
I'm agreeing with you guys. No. As much as I don't want to, I'm agreeing with you.
All right, we spent way too much time on that match. Let's go.
So we're at agreement. We could care less about the last match. So
yeah, basically. I mean, the next match is going to be the SmackDown Women's Championship. Champion Sasha Banks versus Carmella. I think we're going to get a little bit better of a women's match here. But tonight on SmackDown, Carmella didn't sell anything for me.
You didn't like her promo tonight?
No, and her starting out, how she was like doing like singing and dancing around. It reminded me of the business stuff the other night. It's like it was just SmackDown's version of that. It's like
I like the promo, however, and I don't know what it is, but like if you take away the face and just listen to the voice, her and Sasha sound so damn similar when they're cutting those promos.
Okay.
That sometimes it sounds like Sasha talking when it's actually Carmella, and vice versa. Their tone, their cadence, their verbiage, their attitude, like a lot of it is very similar. And I don't know if that may have brought it down for you, or even if you thought of that listening to it. But to me, I hear the same person talking to each other when them two go back and forth. And I don't know where that stems from or where that comes from. I agree with you. I think it'll be a good match. They put a little bit of doubt in my mind tonight.
Yeah.
I'll say a little bit.
Why?
I think who's been the star of the build?
Yeah.
Carmella.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's been in the forefront. Sasha in this build she hasn't done anything. So if you look at it from that perspective, WWE booking would tell you what Sasha's retaining, right?
Yeah.
The way that they book stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she's been propped up as the front runner in this feud. She's gotten the one up. She's gotten the advantage more times than not. And sometimes that's like heel face dynamic. But at the same time, she's been one step ahead of Sasha. So like I said, they did a decent job, not great, but decent job of putting some doubt in my mind tonight that Carmella may actually win this match on Sunday.
I'm going to go back to just logical booking. A lot of times, whenever you just do basic matches, you're going to get that whoever goes over on the go home show loses at the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I feel. It explains this one. It was even whenever Sasha put her in the bank statement tonight, or at least tried to put her in the bank statement. And I was just like, yeah, like this, I can see Carmella tapping out to this. Carmella isn't anything that strong that makes me think, ooh, like, can Sasha make her tap? I'm interested in seeing how Carmella has maybe evolved in the ring since she's been off and hasn't been in the ring wrestling as much on TV for a few months now. But
did you watch their match last week on SmackDown?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think of her in the ring then? When that was like her first real match back since she came back.
I was okay with what they did. It just I didn't like that they put it on a week before the pay-per-view. That was my point about it.
This is just a straight match. This isn't a chair match. This isn't a ladder match. It's not a table match. Like it's just a straight match, right?
Right now, no, but it's probably going to play into some type of champagne on a pole match come Sunday.
All right, there, Vince Russo.
Yeah. G, who you got?
I think there's going to be a gimmick, but
Gimmick pay-per-view. What can you say? Oh man, I gotta go with Sasha.
Any particular reasoning, or just because?
Lack of build, but then again, lack of build. It's like the way WWE books stuff nowadays. I mean, I just see Sasha going over because she's the bigger name, so to speak.
Chris?
Yeah, I think Sasha is definitely going to retain because you just had her win the title off of Bayley, and you kind of had that rematch that can Sasha retain the title because she hasn't been able to retain the titles in the past. And now you have her on a streak. And I don't know if we're looking long term. I think we might be going to a WrestleMania Max with Sasha as champion, which I think may be long term enough for WWE. But I see Sasha retaining for at least having the belt for a bit.
So I'll go with Sasha as well, but I think you'll get this run back again at the Rumble.
Okay.
Because I don't see who you would build up between now and then to go against Sasha. Who else is a heel woman on that roster that you could put against Sasha for the belt at the Rumble?
It might be too soon, but Becky?
Becky's not coming back as a heel.
Could you see her coming back as a heel, though? I mean,
no,
not
at all.
Yeah, I don't. I think
no.
If Becky comes back, would probably be after WrestleMania.
Okay.
I mean, she just had the baby, so I don't.
Maybe Charlotte as a heel,
Charlotte's on Raw.
We always.
That's what I mean. So, like,
no.
You're gonna have to have Sasha face somebody at the Rumble for the belt. So why not just continue it on?
Yeah.
So
true.
I don't know. However they're going to book it, they'll book it. But to me, I don't think this is just a one and done. I think you'll get a continuation of this match to go into Rumble, and they'll fight at the Rumble, and then Sasha will win again and get ready for Mania.
All right, that gets us halfway through the card. So let's kind of get into the main event matches. The first one we're going to cover is from Raw. The TLC match for the WWE Championship, champion Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles.
This has been one of the worst storylines into a title match that I can remember.
I love when you shit on the product.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I don't know if this is a Drew problem or if it's the way that they're presenting Drew. Because to me, AJ versus Drew that's money. AJ is great in the ring, period, hands down, right?
Mhm.
But AJ was somebody that's bigger than him. Like, to me, it's money. So why would you hamstring this with a Braveheart, Ms. Morrison? Like, it's so over the top. It just completely makes me not want to watch this match at all. And I never thought I would say that about an AJ Styles match.
Very true.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, I don't like the whole Ms. Morrison dynamic. It doesn't add anything to the match at all. To your point before, is it a Drew? I haven't been happy with Drew being champion this whole time. I think he's been very lackluster. I could see
But
the argument.
is that him? Is that him, or is that the people that he's faced? Like Orton went, him and Orton was good, but him and Orton went too long. They
Yeah.
went too far. It should have ended with the ambulance match.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Here's the thing though. The main factor is, and you guys may call me a dumb mark, you may disagree with me, but honestly, it's the crowd. That's why it's been lackluster. And honestly, as far as like if it's Drew or AJ, it's none of them. It's McMahon. It's the rating team. Honestly, I mean,
you can, but you can't say that it's the crowd whenever you have Roman, who's your champion on SmackDown, who's absolutely like Steph Curry in the zone and has been on fire since he's come back. The crowd or no crowd, Roman's knocked it out of the park.
You're right, but some wrestlers need the crowd to feed off of. Unlike Roman Reigns,
I don't think they've done Drew any favors with the stuff that they've given him or with the opponents that they've given him. So, I mean, yeah, and the beginning part of his run before he lost the belt to Orton, he faced He faced Dolph, he faced Bobby Lashley, those types of matches, and that was just because you needed people to face him at a pay-per-view. So whether or not that's his fault or not, I would say no, that's not his fault. But now
it's more of the pandemic with the amount of people he could face. But
right. So but now it's kind of like, all right, well, what are you giving me to get me to continue to ride with Drew as champion? And doing this type of storytelling does nothing for me to want to continue to watch him as champion. Now, they may go in and have a hell of a match, and it may be match of the night, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was, given the credentials of both men in the ring. But booking and storytelling leading up to the match makes me not want to watch it.
No, I agree. The build up to it's been awful, and yeah, it's hard to exactly figure out where the blame goes for Drew and the storyline. I'm really going back and forth on if I think the Miz is going to cash in at TLC, because it makes sense to do it. And we go back and forth on this with the show a lot. What's logical does not always work,
But why is it logical? Why does it make sense here now?
If they're signing with AJ, it just makes sense right now that, if they're gonna be, if AJ's teasing them to be like maybe in his corner in a way, or at least be his watchdogs, then why wouldn't you do it? Whether it's AJ winning the title or if Drew retains, then right then you have 4 people to possibly take out Drew.
Yeah,
and get Miz with the title.
That could possibly be the key factor in this whole angle. Miz cashing in and winning the title.
All right, so okay, if Miz cashes in and he's the champ, besides Drew, who obviously would probably get the first crack at him, what other babyface do you have to put against Miz?
Raw's just so
lackluster.
Yeah, it's
who
I don't even really want Miz to win it tomorrow night, or not tomorrow night, on Sunday night, because I don't even think that the Miz is strong enough right now. I feel like his whole Money in the Bank win's just been so.
Blah.
It's just the whole. I think the whole Morrison tandem with him hasn't elevated him. It's brought him down a little bit.
Well, they've completely ruined them too, and ruined any steam that Morrison had whenever he came in. You know,
if this would have happened 2 years ago, I would have been all over it because that's whenever I wanted Miz to be Money in the Bank or be champion again. He was so hot on the mic, was wrestling. I mean, he's a great overall entertainer. I would love to see him be champion again. I just don't, in a way, I don't want this Miz to be champion.
All right. So who you got?
I'm going with Drew retaining.
G.
Drew.
Yeah, I got Drew too. I don't see Drew's gonna win, and then we'll get him and Sheamus at the Rumble. Moving on.
Fella. Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about this next match, but let's get into the Firefly Inferno match. The Fiend versus Randy Orton.
Is this
I actually really liked their backstage segment this week because it was a whole tie-in to their previous feud with Orton burning down Sister Abigail's cabin and everything. But
the whole build has been backflashes and tie-ins to their history.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the Fiend? What does Bray say about the Fiend? He never forgets, right? That's his
been
whole
the
thing.
Fiend's whole thing, since the Fiend came out, was him just going back and rehashing Bray Wyatt's feuds. That's been
right. So I mean, I've liked what they've done with them too. I like all the callbacks. I like all the tie-ins. They've used some slick camera work, with different things that they've been able to do based off of being in the Thunderdome during a pandemic. You don't get the RKO to Bray and the switch to the Fiend on the pin cover if there's a live crowd there. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff wouldn't be able to happen, and it's come off done. They've done it really, really well between these two. Is this a cinematic?
I was going to ask the same question.
Like,
I don't know.
I hope not.
I mean,
depending where you put this match on the card, you need setup time for the Inferno, or you need takedown time for the Inferno. So does it go on first? Does it go on last? And if not, is it cinematic? Because then it's all its own separate thing. And
to me,
I'm thinking it's cinematic, but
to me, I would say this has to be cinematic too. Just given the title and the history. Now we've seen these two in a cinematic match before. Although this time I think it'll be different.
Yeah,
I think it'll be better. There'll be callbacks to it. Somehow, I think the Fiend's going to go over here, and then this will give Randy a little bit of a break. Kind of let him stay off for a couple of weeks and get him, revved up and primed up for Rumble, and into Mania season with whatever plans they decide to go with there. And then you can run, I don't know what you do with the Fiend after this. But yeah, I'll go with the Fiend. I don't see how he loses this match.
Yeah, I like your thinking there with Orton getting a few weeks off because Orton's been going strong since before SummerSlam,
right?
And he's somebody that a few years ago started working a little bit of a part-time schedule,
right?
So him working week in, week out, that is a lot for him. But he, really this whole year, Randy Orton had a great 2020 for it being a shitty year in pro wrestling. It was a great year for Randy Orton.
I will make the argument he is the superstar of the year in WWE.
I could see that argument,
and that'll be later on down the line on the pod for the year-end wrap-up show. But yeah, G, who you got?
I gotta go Fiend going over.
Yeah. All right.
And I really hope it's not cinematic because me personally, I don't like that type of match. I mean, and I like I was talking to you, Chris, earlier today. There's only certain workers that could do the Inferno match, that being Undertaker and Kane. Other than that, this doesn't work for me. It does not work.
I see why they added it, but yeah, I don't think it was necessary.
Mm-mm.
All right, so we all got the Fiend going over there.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
All right, and the last match of the night right now, TLC match on SmackDown for the Universal Championship: Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Steve, go ahead.
So you listen to the pod. I've made my feelings known for Roman Reigns and what he's done since he's came back, how he's been on the mic, how he's been in the ring, everything he's done.
About it.
He's so modest about it, I swear.
Listen, the man can knock on my front door and my wife will divorce me right then and there, but I'm still gonna give him his flowers. Like, it is what it is. He's on a roll, right?
Yes.
Kevin Owens, this is the Kevin Owens that I've been wanting to see for a very long time. It's that prize fighter, that fight Owens fight, that guy that came out, super powerbomb Cena, stepped on the United States title and held up the NXT belt. This is the guy that fights for his family, the guy that will do anything for his family. I love the story that they've told between these two. Again, I don't know who's writing for them or who's writing for Roman. I don't know if it's all Heyman or what, but it's just been another layer upon layer upon layer of Roman Reigns and the whole head of the table, tribal chief, leader. I mean, it's what I've wanted to see from both men. So I'm excited for this match going into it for sure.
I actually read a rumor today, and it is a rumor, so who knows if it's true or not, but that Paul's doing the majority of the work, but Michael Hayes is working with him as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The build-up has been good. I haven't had a problem with it at all. I did have a little problem with SmackDown tonight. I thought it took up too much time on the show. And then, Roman told Jay to take out Kevin because he didn't want to deal with him anymore. And I kind of felt like Jay taking out Kevin was pretty weak.
But that goes back to Roman being what is Roman? He's the mob boss, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy that puts out the hit. So
that's what I thought, so if a mob boss would have said to, one of their capos, take him out, they're not just going to go and just, club him one time and just be like, okay, good enough, walk away.
But I mean, we've seen there be consequences for Jay not doing stuff correctly in the past. So, I mean, who knows if that'll come back to bite Jay in the ass for not doing what Roman asked him to do. I just think it's been a build that sets up perfectly for both men going into the match and for what they want to accomplish and what they want to do. KO is great in ladder matches, and now you can go back and look up his stuff, what he's done with with Generico and other various people in ladder matches. And like I said, with Roman being as hot as he is, I mean, to me, it's what I want to see in a main event of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Johnny, how do you feel about the match?
What I want to see and what's actually going to happen are two different things, if you don't mind me saying this. But back to before I even start that, Kevin Owens, he's going back to his roots. This is Kevin's theme from Ring of Honor and PWG and the Indies. Like this, what I've seen lately from KO. What I want to see is KO go over and have Roman really prove he's head of the table, really prove he's the high chief. Okay, but what's going to happen is it's going to be a pretty solid match, but Reigns is going to go over.
Chris,
yeah. Any word on Jimmy? I haven't heard anything about Jimmy at all lately. Like,
So I believe he's supposed to be back at the beginning part of the new year. So like January, February-ish. I'm thinking maybe, Rumble.
Mhm.
To bring him out and add him to the mix. Because there, rumors going back was, he would be added in. The Usos would get their thing, new music, the whole 9 yards, Roman new music, and really build off of them three, basically running the show, and handling business as seen fit. So, yeah, I think you could expect him potentially for Rumble, but early part of the beginning of the year is last I saw.
Okay. So, I mean, just for this match, no rules. So Jay's definitely going to help Roman out in this match. Whether it could basically be a 2-on-1. Roman's retaining. I don't see anything different happening out of that. And yeah, okay. So we'll see where things go with the Rumble. Maybe the Rumble where I say, Jimmy comes out and that's where they really unite and form their group.
Yeah, now's not the time for KO. I would like to see him eventually get that belt, get the strap again, and get another run where he's not tied to like Hunter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think he deserves a run on his own. So I definitely, Roman's gonna win. There's not a doubt in my mind he's gonna win. But with that being said, I still want to see the match because I know that they're gonna give me. There's gonna be moments in that match where I go, oh shit, they're really gonna pull the trigger and give it to KO.
Sure.
Like, they'll have people on the hook buying in that like that false finish really made me think that KO was gonna do this. So, but yeah, Roman's gonna win. I don't see them taking the belt off him anytime soon. It'll be a long run for him at this point, or until he doesn't want it anymore. Honestly,
Let me ask you. Yeah, let me ask you guys' opinion on Jimmy coming back at the Rumble, winning the Rumble, and Roman coming out and saying you deserve a seat at my table. Could you?
Well, I don't think Jimmy would win the Rumble. I just don't think Vince would put him on that. Now, there has been absolutely no scuttlebutt. If you're an older person, which WWE tends to book for nowadays, no scuttlebutt as far as Rumble plans. Like, nothing. Normally now, like, it's already set up where you could see where they're gonna go with it and who they have primed to go into the match and win it. Like,
yeah,
you look back this time last year, like, look where Drew was at, and it was kind of like, okay, like, that's gonna be your guy going into the Rumble. Now there's absolutely nothing. So I have no idea how this is all gonna shake out as far as Rumble and Mania season goes. But it's fast approaching, and they need to get the ball rolling on stuff, because if they hot shot shit for the Rumble and into Mania, it's going to be highly disappointing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it is what it is type situation. I think we're looking at another disappointing Mania this year.
I agree with you. I mean, it just from Drew winning the title, it was a disappointing Mania to me. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if we're going to see any real big surprise entrance out of the Rumble this year, just because that's usually done for crowd reaction.
True. True.
Maybe we'll see Edge again, but will it get would have even got the reaction it got last year? Probably not, no matter what. But
no.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll get into that closer when Rumble comes on, because I already got thoughts for that and what they should have done but aren't doing, and doesn't matter. I'm done, Mark. So, all right. What out of the matches we ran through on the card tonight, who do you think will have match of the night?
I'm gonna go, I think, with you. Reigns and Owens. I think that's gonna be the match of the night.
Yeah, me too.
I'll go. Now that's shocking because you don't like Reigns. You don't like Reigns' matches as of late, based off of the talking and the lackluster as far as speed in the match goes.
I think this is going to be different, because the other one was all about the emotion between him and Jay, being family. This is just, we kind of got tonight with Reigns saying, "I'm over you. Like, I don't want to deal with you anymore." I'm hoping this is straight aggression to the point of, whether we continue at Rumble's fine or not, but at least Roman's saying, like, I'm taking care of you tonight because I don't want to see your face again.
All right. I'll go with Roman and KO too. But like I said before, it would not shock me if it's the New Day and Hurt Business that go out there and steal the show and have match of the night, just based off of New Day's track record in those types of situations. And I think Cedric and Shelton got a lot to prove. They're actually on a pay-per-view card, and I think they're going to go out there and want to, blow the roof off the Thunderdome, so to speak.
A lot of high spots.
I had
to do it. Like
a lot of high spots in that match, definitely. With the Hurt Business and New Day, definitely. So
all four of them are talented. So
anybody got anything else before we wrap this up and call it a night here?
I'm good. I don't think I expect too much out of this pay-per-view, really. My expectations are really low going in.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what just based off of the card and what you've seen so far leading up to it, on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as expectation level for how good of a pay-per-view is it going to be, what would you grade it out as going into it?
Ooh. 2.5.
G. Like 2.5 is meaning like it's going to be their worst pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
I'll do you one better. A 1, meaning me being on my phone and like, oh, okay, I'm going back. Like literally, I'll give it a 1.
I don't think it'll be their worst show of the year. I'll be generous because it's the Christmas season. It's been a rough year. I'll give them. I'll go with a 6 out of 10 right now.
Okay.
I'll be generous.
I'm a pessimist and a realist in life, so I like to lower the bar and hopefully rise above expectations.
All right. Well, thanks for hopping on and joining us with the Dumb Marks live edition TLC prediction show preview breakdown. Thanks to the special guest appearance. G, you piggybacked on a lot of picks tonight, but I don't know if that'll get you invited back, but we'll see.
It is what it is, man. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on, Johnny.
No problem, man.
No, we appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the pay-per-view. As always, follow along. You see the scroll bar there on the bottom where you can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. Rate, subscribe, review. Click that bell so you get notifications if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook Live. Again, thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, you can catch us around the way.